All right, hi everyone. Today I have a very special guest. It's my honor to welcome my brother Ali, visiting me from Greece, the founder and CEO of TheList. Welcome, Ali.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure to be in your podcast.
Beautiful, beautiful. Very happy that you're here. Uh, the one reason that I wanted to talk to you several times, but unfortunately I was so busy with my PhD program and work. I want to talk about the list specifically, but also the challenges of being an entrepreneur and everything that falls under that, investors, marketing, is it a local or international business, and so on. I always want to pick your brain, as someone that partially witnessed your challenges, not fully, sometimes I feel like you didn't want to uh, provide us with majority of bad newses because you didn't want to transfer negative energy or bad energy to your family members and friends who have the challenges that you are going through. But also for the audience, majority of young audience, because you are a very young entrepreneur. You are not at the age limit of the most of the entrepreneurs that are achieving their goals, and they have plenty dollar signs in their bank account. So I think it's very important, as you know, to get your mindset as someone that at a very young age you went through these challenges in a foreign country, establishing a company, trying to attract as a CEO different investors, and having that platform in a touristic country like Greece, that majority of businesses, they already established their customer base and so on. It's very fascinating to me, to the achievement that you have made throughout the pandemic, after pandemic, establishing your business, expanding it to different countries such as United Arab Emirates and now the United States. So I'm very happy and blessed that you are here today and we can talk about that. But before we get to that, the structure design of your software company, of getting to that business process, I want to talk about what made you to make decision to go to this industry. As I always
Because I think I'm crazy enough. That would be my honest answer.
yeah.
Because I believe all the entrepreneurs are crazy enough to enter this journey. I mean, you have to be crazy to take the pain, and because it's really not about money. You see, before I found the list, yeah, I wanted to do the list to become a multi-millionaire or even a billionaire.
Correct.
That was my only point.
Correct.
Right? So then I was listening to all these entrepreneurs, that, yeah, I did this, it wasn't about money, or I did that e-commerce, it wasn't about money, or the social media, etc., etc. And to me, I was like, bullshit, they're lying, everybody are after money, it's about the money, and so on. But when you start working on your startup, on your idea, and going into this path, after some time, not really long time, I mean after a short period, you really realize that it's not about money. It's about your legacy that you want to leave behind. Because to make money, there are lots of ways, lots of easy ways to make money and to have a beautiful life. So why someone should go through hell, and at the end you don't even know if you're gonna make that money that you're expecting or not, or even if you're going to be successful or not. So that's why I believe all the entrepreneurs out there, they are super crazy, because you need to be crazy. You need to be crazy in mind to go through a journey that is always, basically it's kind of like you're always in war. War, stress, fights, competition, enemies, haters, you name it. And it's always like that. That's the crazy thing about this journey. Early days, you are like, hey, I'm on my own, bootstrapping, no funding, and then you're craving for the day so you can, financially you can afford to hire a couple of, employees and, to add into your team. So then you can expand, and there are other people that they can do the job for you. But really quickly you realize, as much as the company is growing, your problem just grow with it. It's not like, hey, last year we didn't have money, this year we have money and we have investors, and last year we were like 2 3 people, now we are like 20 25, in total. So no, the problems, they just keep growing with them. I mean, seriously, I can't imagine what, like, all these great amazing entrepreneurs like Elon or Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos, and there's so many else. um I have no idea what these guys are going through right now. These guys were like working their ass off all their life when they were young, the most beautiful age of their time. They didn't party, they didn't have fun, they were just work. And now people, they see them as billionaire, but the reality is, it's most of that is valuation, and it's not actually cash money in your bank account. Now I'm not saying Elon, Jeff, and Mark, they don't have money in bank account, don't get me wrong. All I'm saying, it's, still just working 24/7 non-stop at the age of 50, 60, 70. So that's why I say to so many people, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. So don't get fooled by the influencers on social media. I'm not talking about the influencers, selling makeup or things like that. I'm talking about the tech influencers. So that everybody, they're just trying to encourage people to quit your job. 9 to 5 is bad. You have to quit. Build something for yourself. Build your company. Don't listen to them. Yes, building something is amazing, is great, the freedom and all that, but not so many people, they want to go through hell. They want to go through stress from the moment they open their eyes until the moment they close their eyes. Not financially, not being able to pay their bills, going through breakup, losing their friends, not having time to spend with their family members, and they have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. Rather than maybe they can work in another company, having a decent salary and a really nice position and a happy environment, and spend time with their family, with their kids, with their pet, watch movies, Netflix, going to cinema, and enjoy their time. So entrepreneurship is fun for those that are really crazy and they like it. Otherwise, that's why you see so many founders, they quit, or they attempt to suicide, and it's a really like crazy game. I love it because I'm crazy enough to take the pain. And before I started working on the list, those that they know me, they know I had a really great life. um, I was doing my college in Budapest, in Hungary, and then I got transferred to Athens, Greece, because I always wanted to live in Mediterranean. And to be honest, I was between Spain and Greece. So when I was in Budapest, one of two of my best friends, one the name was Pandelis, he was from Greece, and the other one, Carlos, was from Spain. So we were hanging out like morning till night, we were sleeping together, living together and all that. So it was fascinating, like, I really love history and the cultures and all that. So it was fascinating, these three cultures, the Persian culture, Spanish and Greek, how similar they are. I mean, I never felt hanging out with two foreigners. I always felt that I'm hanging out with my cousins. So it was the time that, and I love to travel, I love to experience the world, because I believe, and it's true, that life is really short, and you have to take enjoy all the moments and take the maximum out of it. So I was traveling a lot, and I went to Spain, I went to Greece, And I always, since I was a child, I mean, everybody they had American dream. I had Mediterranean dream, right? So I wanted to live in the Mediterranean country. I really loved it, and I had so many dreams about it. And I never ever wanted to live in United States. I mean, you know it very well. You've been living in the U.S. I think now for the past what 20, 25, 30 years, something like that. And same as my mom and our mom and uh, my beautiful nephews and our family. So I never had that American dream, and I never got it until I founded the list, and I started traveling a lot to US for work, and then I was like, wow, United States is paradise for doing business. There is no comparison between United States and the rest of the world, especially the European countries, especially the Mediterranean countries, and a country like Greece. You might go to Greece. By the way, I live in Greece for the past 15 years. I speak the language. It's my home, and all my friends are Greeks, and my girlfriend is Greek. So Greece is like a home to me, and part of me, like I feel like a Greek, right? By the way, my surname is Kavousi, and if you Google Kavousi village in Crete Island, you're gonna be amazed. So there is this village in Crete Island that the name of the village is Kavousi's village, and I went there, and it's fascinating. Like, it's kind of like the minion towns. It's funny. So everybody in that village, their surname is Kavousi, and when you drive through the village, you see like Kavousi butcher shop, Kavousi like flower shop, Kavousi's spa resort, Kavousi's pharmacy, Kavousi's hospital, Kavousi's. So it's fascinating. So I was like, there should be some kind of, I don't know, Persians in the back in the days, in the ancient time, they traveled from Persia to Greece, or Greeks they went to Persia, something like that. So it's a really like fascinating story. And then there is an olive tree in that village which is like 4,000 years old. They call it Kavousi's olive tree. So it's fascinating. Now, you guys going to Greece? Yes, during summer it's paradise, is beautiful, the islands, the mountains, the food, the vibe, all that. But doing business in Greece, especially startup in Greece, it's a hell. Now, it's not just about Greece, it's about the European countries. I mean, I'm not the only person who's saying that. You can talk also to the other founders, or just listening to different podcasts, and you can see that all the founders that they did amazing companies, and some of them they became unicorn, even in Germany, or the Western European countries. They all, like, there is no comparison between Europe and United States in regards to funding, supports, building a company, and how fast you can grow in US. By the way, you do something in US, next day you wake up, it's booming, it's global. You go all around the world. But you started from any other country, you have to go door to door, try to expand in different cities, different towns, different countries, and then it would be really hard to expand to the United States, because the market in here is really saturated, and the competition is really high. And that's why I'm really happy and I'm really proud that we achieved to enter to the US market, starting from Florida, Miami, and at the moment we are working with over, if I'm not mistaken, 65 high-end restaurants in Miami. That there's so many other apps, or so many other startups and companies with lots of funding and money, and they couldn't enter United States, and or they entered and they failed, or they didn't let them to enter the US market. And we, as a considering a small startup, still bootstrapping and all that, so we achieved to enter the market, and I'm really proud of that. So yeah.
I think one advantage that United States has, it's always a step ahead as far as technology. But I think especially in the current day and age, when you talk about technology, One thing that I faced mainly when I take vacation to Europe and particularly Mediterranean nations, uh, still utilizing technology in the nightlife as far as reservations, using reservation app is a challenge. And I know yourself had to start a education boot camp for majority of business owners in nightlife in Greece to accept your product. Uh, Particularly last summer when I was visiting Italy, I made all my reservations in advance, right? But when I went to the restaurants, somehow, particularly, they wouldn't care that I had a reservation through app. So I had to get that. So I think that's one of the. Can you particularly dissect the challenge of introducing advanced technology,
Yeah,
such as reservation, to the business owners?
yeah. Oh, that's another challenge, and I mean, the good point. Yeah, I mean that's a big challenge. So one of the thing, I mean, look, countries you just mentioned like Italy, right? So countries like Italy, Greece, Turkey, and Portugal, Spain. In general, I mean, we're talking about the Mediterranean countries, right? So there are, I mean, the culture and they're kind of like traditional countries. So I mean, comparing them to the United States, everything works in here. Everything, like, you need an app in here, right? And by the way, now we are also, I mean, we are in the AI era and all that. But I mean, think about it. In US, in Florida, even when you want to park your car, you need to download an app, right? Or just do it through the guest mode. Doesn't matter. But you pay your parking through the app. So you do everything through the app, your laundry, everything. Now, to compare that with Europe, and especially the Mediterranean countries and the cultural countries, the like Greece or Italy, they don't welcome technology that much, especially for technologies like our platform, like B2B2C platform for online reservations or CRM management system. Yeah, it was really hard to educate the market because those countries, I mean, Athens is really small, okay? The European countries are small in general and the populations are not that big. So in a country like Greece, like Athens, Mykonos, Thessaloniki, Paros, Santorini, they are small countries, small cities, and everybody know each other. So there are different metrics in here. First thing first, you go talk to the business side, to the restaurant or nightclub. First thing they're like, no, why should I use your system? And I'm already paying tax. There's so many payments involved in between. Now I don't want to add something new on top of it. Like, hey, here's the list, and we beside the tax and the insurance and the payment and the supplier and all that, oh, we have to pay the list commission too. So the first thing, it was like to make them understand that this is good for you because it's gonna boost your revenue with the features we have, with all this technology that we have in the backend, and how you can filterize your clientele, your no shows, boost your revenue, minimum spend. We were the first platform in Greece to introduce the minimum spend policy for the venues to avoid the low spenders, and the card payment and the cancellation refund policies to avoid the no shows. And now I'm really happy that I see, like, it's really common now all over Greece. I mean, the businesses, they all work with most of them, they work with a minimum spend, or they require a deposit or a card payment. If you compare it to back in the days, like few years ago, imagine for Christmas parties or New Year's Eve, like the nightclubs in Greece, or the bouzukias are those, for those people that they don't know, are the live shows. So they are like, there's a stage singer, they serve food, this Greek music, really really fun places. They used to ask their clients, I mean, imagine you are going to Greece, right, as an American, or it doesn't matter, even you are Greek or whatever. So You're calling that bazooka or that nightclub to book a table. Now, the only time that they used to ask for a deposit or a down payment, it was for Christmas and New Year's. That's it. So they would have tell you, you have to like, hey, you want that table? Okay, the cost is 1,000 euros, but we need 200 euros deposit. But you have to come to my nightclub, let's say tomorrow, or to my restaurant, to my bazooka at 2 p.m. There is no show or something. You just have to come to make the deposit. It was no online way. So that was a disaster. Just imagine like 30 million tourists like during summer coming to Greece. Or it's kind of like a headache. Somebody lives in the northern suburb of Athens. Why should they drive like 2 hours, go to downtown of Athens just to leave a deposit so they can secure their table for, for the New Year's Eve? Or you had to do it through bank transfer and then send them the screenshot of your transfer and send them back. So we were the first app that we introduced this minimum spend and all that, and now I see also there are the other apps like in the industry that they all using these features, and also everybody are aware of that. So it was really hard. Of course it was hard to educate the market that why the list is good for you and how it can boost your revenue and minimize your losses and no shows. And then it wasn't like, hey, we achieved to educate the B2B side and now we are good to go. Then we had the B2C problem. Then we had the user problem, because the users, they were like, why should I book from your app? It's a small place, right? You've been in Athens, like it's really small. It's like what, 4 or 5 million population in total. So of course there are lots of restaurants, nightclubs and all that. So, and then from the B2C side, the people, they were like, why should I book through the app? They had it like a low thing, not like a classy thing. Hey, I'm not gonna go to a restaurant and say book through this app, or I'm not gonna go through the club. And it's not about the list or open table or Resi or you name it, or seven rooms, whatever. It's not about none of those. It's the culture of people living in those countries that, hey, I'm going to that place, I'm just gonna call the manager. I have the manager number in my phone. Or friend of mine works at the door, or the DJ is my friend, or friend of mine is the barman, or I know one of the owners. So they want this human connection. So why should I use the app? But now 80% of our reservations are Greeks, so they are the locals that they use our app and they like our services. And we are pretty established now in Greece, and we are also in United Arab Emirates, in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, working with over 600 merchants. I'm really proud. Like we have day one, you would ask me, I could never imagine this would happen. Like we have like Michelin star restaurants in our app. We have the biggest hospitality groups. We're in partnership with them. And entering United States, it was a big challenge and a big achievement for us. Because to be honest, I was like, the market is super saturated in US. There are so many like products working over there, like unicorns.
So this is part of my I'm glad you brought that, entering to the United States. I want to kind of focus right now on product and market. So basically, let's start with what is the biggest risk your product faces in next 12 months, and how you are prepared for that?
Before I answer to that question, I would just want to say something else. In every industry, in every field, there are risks. It doesn't matter now. My fastest answer to you would be like AI would come replace and things like that, what everybody are talking about. But before that, I want to say there are risks in everything in life, okay? I give you an example as a football player. What is the guarantee of that football player who's not gonna, break his leg or lose his leg, or something happen to his kneecap or something and he just loses his career? NBA player, what is the guarantee that, maybe he break like 2 of his fingers and he can never, shoot a ball. A surgeon was the risk. Maybe they get into a car accident or something, and they can never work again. Now, same as technology, there are so many risks. Yeah, of course, technology is always adapting, always new things coming on top, right? Just like, hey, people they used to use Nokia. It was the biggest company at that time, but then Apple came, smartphones, and nobody knows what Nokia is anymore. So same as all these, let's say it's not even about the list. Like, what's the guarantee of DoorDash is going to exist in the next 10 years, or Uber Eats is going to exist in the next 10 years, or the list, or OpenTable, or there's so many other things. Maybe AI replace everything. Maybe it comes like this AGI's thing.
So
that
I guess my focus on perhaps asking that question is, what assumptions about your target market turn out to be completely wrong that can change your view for next 12 months? So let's say you had a target market. I want to do this. And then your target market turned out to be wrong. And then it has to be basically kind of created that cloud in your marketing target that when you plan for next 12 months, changing something different, your perspectives. Because as a entrepreneur yourself, you say, I want A, B, C, D. I want to take care of these things, and this is my target market. And then you show up to, let's say, Mykonos, and X and Y, Z owners, they say, I don't want to do this. And that kind of change your target market. So now, as a marketing strategy, as a CEO, when you sit down with your team, kind of these assumptions about the target market turn out to be completely wrong. So the risk that your product is facing now is also can be a risk that your product is facing within the next 6 or 12 months. So what decision-making process you are going through with your team, and as a leader yourself, we're going to get to the leadership talk in a little bit, that you are going to face these risks. What I'm going to do now that I learn these steps in this market.
Look,
I know it was a really challenging question.
no, that was a really good question.
Yeah.
I liked it. That was a really good question. The thing is that our assumptions, now I don't want to brag about it, but it never went wrong. Okay? And now, when you're talking with the company, that it was I was a one-man show, and I passed through pandemic. So there is nothing even close to that. So when it was pandemic, like everybody was stressed out. No, the world has changed. We will never back up again. So many businesses shut down, and I went through the pandemic, bootstrapping, all that. So that was the most craziest thing that you could never, predict what's gonna happen tomorrow, if the market will back up again or not, or what's gonna happen next. But as far as to answer to your question regarding you had like what's gonna happen the next 10 years, what's the risk, our target market and all that, my answer and my strategy with my team would be like just speed and getting and getting adapted to the new technology, and implementing AIs, working on deep machine learning and all that. That's the only thing that, look, it's technology. If you don't catch up, yeah, of course you're gonna run out of the business, because every day new things are coming out. So the risk for our business in the next 10 years, yeah, it would be like the AGI or something would come out, and with the bottom of a click or a voice, you would do everything from shopping to e-commerce to table bookings, you name it. But that means so many business would run out of the so many things would run out of the business. And it's not just about the list, like also open table would run out of the business, Resi would run out of the business, maybe DoorDash would run out of the business. Maybe the new drones will come and just to do the delivery for you, so all these drivers would run out of the business, and they would all these giant companies would lose revenue, etc., etc. But it's not always about what the big companies, the giant corporations are doing, because when you look at some of the great entrepreneurs' journeys, like let's say a company like Spotify, all right, that they killed Apple in their own game. So when Spotify, I mean, this is a really crazy journey. When Spotify was, working and building and all that, it was the moment that Apple introduced the iTunes and Apple Music, right? So you compare Apple, multi-trillion-dollar company with the best resources and backups and engineers around the world, with a small startup in Scandinavians, and you are like, Spotify, I mean, would have no chance, right? But they did what they did. They made an amazing product, and they killed Apple. I mean, by kill, I don't mean they kill, because obviously the Apple Music and the podcast and all that, they are working and they are doing really good. But if you see the market share, Spotify is number one. Now, Spotify, again, compare startup in a small country in Scandinavians compared to a Silicon Valley, tech giant. So, and there's so many crazy stories in here too. Like one of them is that when every time Spotify were publishing a new version on the App Store, Apple on purpose were delaying their updates so they can get ahead of them. Like they're just delaying, their apps were full of bugs and they were just publishing new. So imagine, just put yourself for a moment into the shoe of the Spotify founder. Anybody else would give up. There is no way, I would have no chance to win Apple in this war. But they did it, and actually they took the majority of the market share. So I'm not really afraid of, I really love technology, I love AI, and I'm already receiving lots of benefits from AI in my company and my personal day life. I really love it, and I can't wait just for it to get better and better and better. And I'm not at all worried of what's going to happen in the future. Oh my god, if AI will replace us, or how about if companies like Google or Apple or Amazon, they start entering our industry. And by the way, like Google has already started entering our industry by reserve with Google, so I'm not really worried at all, because the market, it's so big, it's so huge, that there are rooms for everybody, and the market really appreciate the hard workers and those that they really sweat and work their ass off for something great to help make people life easier. And the market and the people and the society will appreciate those person. So I have seen that. I have seen, like, there's so many, even after us, there's so many new apps coming. Like even in Greece, in the Greek market, there's so many new apps that my team members or my friends are like, hey, these guys, they copied you, or that guys, they copied you. And they're expecting me to get mad or to make fun of them. Oh yeah, these motherfuckers, they copied us or something. But they see my reaction, I'm like, they actually did a really nice product. Wow. So after some time, you're like, I mean, there are people, there are founders that they work their ass off. And trust me, when you work hard, the market, the universe, the God, whatever you want to name it or you believe, they will appreciate you and they will give it back to you. But if you are a lazy person and you're just expecting that, hey, I did this and now the government owes me, the bank has to give me loan, but they didn't give me loans, or the investors, they don't understand, and the VCs are dumb, and you're just having expectations from everyone and everything, you will never grow in that respect.
So I'm glad that you kind of uh, brought the conversation to the personal and psychological aspect of running a business and being the leadership, uh, which is very important. I personally, in every uh, move I make in my personal and my professional life, I pay close attention to the psychological aspect of that. Uh, my kind of to drag the conversation that way, how do you personally stay grounded while carrying the weight of the company?
Hmm.
I know that, you know, the challenges for establishing your company, as you mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, getting licenses and things like that, it was a hassle. I remember that. It's not like United States, it's ABC, you're done. You get the license of your company, you're good to go. And then your product was getting to the market, and boom, here is pandemic. And then there was uncertainty in the pandemic, especially with the EU having very tough laws. And then markets open up, and then now you have to lift up. You gotta bring the new team, hire a new team. You gotta attract investors. You have to have money. You have to have cash flow, and so on. How do you personally stay grounded? Carrying the weight of your company.
It's just, the simple answer to that would be, you just, if you love what you do. That's my only answer. If I mean, look, as I said before, entrepreneurship is really hard. It's really, really, really hard. I don't suggest it to many people. Of course, when I talk to my friends, or I always try to, like, hey, you gotta do something for yourself, and you can build this, you can do that. As an entrepreneur, you always want to make the other people to become entrepreneur. Okay, you never seen an entrepreneur to tell you, hey, go get a job in that company. So it's your nature, right? It's kind of like, have you seen a guy who's drinking or smoking weed or something? He always try to make the other people to drink too, or just to give them, like, hey, here, come, smoke this, it's good for you, you're gonna laugh or get high or whatever. So that's bad influence, right? But entrepreneurship, yeah, it's good influence. You always try to make people to do something for their own sake, for their future, for their family, to build something, legacy, and all that. But it's not for everybody. That's why you see so many people, they quit. The only way, look, I'm telling you, if you're doing something for money, there are so many other ways to make money, lots of money, and have an amazing, beautiful life, freedom, enjoy, vacation, shopping, buying, stuff like that. Entrepreneurship is just like a game. You see, let me give you an example. Let's say you buy a new game for one of your kids, like a PlayStation game or something, right? Without asking them. So you just log into your PlayStation account and you just see this new thing, whatever, shooting game or sport game, and you give it to them. But you see, they're not gonna spend lots of time on it. They're gonna play around with it, and I don't like it, I'm waiting for the new GTA or something. So then you give them the new GTA, and you see he's not coming out of his room. He doesn't care for lunch, he doesn't care for breakfast. He's awake until 5 a.m., sleeps, wake up again, not even brushing his teeth, continue the same game again, right? He didn't like the first game, he gave up on it, he didn't finish it, he didn't pay attention. But the second game, he loved it. So he gave up on brushing teeth, food, going out, whatever. All he cares is to finish that mission, and then he can do online games or whatever. So that's the exact same thing with entrepreneurship. If you love what you do, no matter what you are going through, you will make it, because it's your game, right? But it's kind of like a relation. I mean, if you're in a relation and your partner is sick or something, you're not gonna give up on them. You're gonna do whatever. You're gonna sell your car, you're gonna sell your house, you're gonna do whatever to help them to get better, or always be next to them. But if you don't care about your partner, with the first thing you're gonna leave them. The moment that you find something like more attractive or somebody more attractive, you're gonna go there. So that's, yeah, entrepreneurship is really hard. I mean, you go through hunger, you go through loneliness. Nobody give a damn about you. You know, everybody, actually nobody wants you to become successful because it makes them feel better. Because most of the people around you, they didn't do something for their own, and and of course, as a human nature, you cannot go against it. It's human nature, right? People are jealous. People, they don't like to see other people's success, rather than if it's only your mom or dad or your brother or sister. Even sometimes, even the brother and sisters, they don't want to see your success. So it's a really lonely game. It's a really hard game. It's hunger, wait for it, selling your stuff, yeah, break up, give up on so many things. Your friends are not hanging out with you anymore. You don't have time to take care of yourself, to buy a shirt. It's Christmas, I don't give a crap. It's New Year, I don't care. I'm here building, solving, etc., etc. But to me, it's my game. That's how I went through it. I really enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm really not doing it for money. I'm just doing it for because I really love it. I mean, look, I give you an example. The other night, you see, having options is really good. Okay? What do I mean by having options? So, as a person, I have the options to work in any other company, just send out my CV, go for interviews, and I'm sure I'm gonna find something in Europe, in US, whatever. I'm gonna find something good. Maybe a nice company with a good salary in Dubai. I'm gonna find something. So that's one of my options. My second option is that, I do what I used to do before, like doing e-commerce, buying from China, selling on, eBay, Amazon, Shopify, etc., etc., making good money, and it was really good. Option three is that, I've joined some of my friends, establishing a new restaurant or a takeaway or a takeaway food or a bakery or things like that. Option four, my next option is four or fifth, is to build my own company, startups. So I have all this in front of me, and I pick that card. So that's why. So see, sometimes people, they cheat themselves because they don't have the option. Let's say somebody, I give you one simple example that's happening in everybody's life. Someone wants to go out tonight to party, but for many reasons, maybe they don't have the money, maybe their friends, they bailed on them, maybe somebody didn't call them to go out, so in that matter they stay in. Now, when out of the blue someone calls them, hey, what you doing, or what did you do last night? I stayed in, I wanted to stay in. No, don't lie to yourself. You wanted to go out, you wanted to party, you didn't have the chance, you didn't have the opportunity to, otherwise you would have gone there. So you stayed in, just be faithful to yourself. I stayed in because I didn't have the money, or I didn't have the people, or somebody didn't call me, or I didn't want to just go to a party alone. Alright? That's option. Me, in my life, I always have options. If I don't, I create option for me. Now, the other day, if you remember, we were at the beach, this beautiful Fort Lauderdale beach, and then we came back home, and we wanted to go somewhere to party in Miami. It was also a friend of us here visiting from Greece, and actually we even had the reservation at Habibi, Miami. So, and you want to really go to that, it's a really nice place, and by the way, we have it on the list too. So it's a fine dining experience with music, party, beautiful girls, beautiful crowd, and all that. And my friend wanted to go to party, but I took shower, and then I was just checking out myself in the mirror, like what clothes should I put on, and then in the mirror I saw my laptop, I saw my MacBook. And then I was like, it's kind of like a kid to say to the kid, hey, put your clothes on. Let's say when you say to your kids, put your clothes on, we are going out for a lunch, and the kid is like, leave me alone, I want to play my PlayStation. You guys please go, leave me alone. Okay? So I was like, hey, I have the option to go out in beautiful Miami to party in one of the best places, fun, all that. And by the way, I'm not even paying, so it's not about the money that I don't want to spend money. My brother has invited me. And I have the other option to stay in and work with my Mac. Just I took my shower, lay down on the couch, have my Mac on my lap, and just do my work, what I'm doing. So I picked that option to stay in Saturday night to work. Why? Not because I had to, not because I had to finish a task, not because I had to deliver something, because I wanted to, because I loved it, because I didn't want to. I had that. It's kind of like you have options. You want to buy the Ferrari or Lamborghini. You have options. You have the money to even buy both of them. But then you are like, for this reason, XYZ, I'm going to pick the Ferrari. The other person is like, I'm going to pick the Lambo. The other person, he doesn't have the money to buy both. And then it's like, fuck it, no, these cars, what's the point? It's too noisy. You can't even fit in it. And I go get the Toyota. So having options is really important, and I really encourage people to not cheat on themselves by lying to, no, I didn't want to do this. Or we have this Persian expression. It's really nice. I always try to translate it for my friends to understand. So I said in Persian, then I translate it. We say گربه دستش به گوش نمیرسه میگه بو میده. That means the cat cannot reach to the meat. So let's say there is a meat up to the wall, and the cat wants to jump and just grab and eat that piece of meat or chicken, whatever, right? So the cat can't jump and take that meat and is like, this expired, smelly, I don't want to eat it. No, you couldn't take it. Otherwise, you would have gone there and you would have swallowed that piece of meat, right? So it comes down again to entrepreneurship, to your question, what you asked me. It's my game. I love it. That's why I got through it. Right? That was your original question. How can I get through it and all that? Because it's my game. Otherwise, trust me, I would have given up long time ago.
Going back to that psychological aspect of running a business and the personal portion of it, kind of, I always wanted to get to the mind of a CEO. What do you fear the most as a CEO? And how do you confront it? I am sure you have been through things that you have feared. I don't know if you had a fear of it so far throughout your business journey that it happened. It's like, holy shit, I always fear about this thing and it happened to me. Or maybe not. But as a CEO right now, what do you fear the most? And how do you push through it?
That's a good question. No one had asked me that. Being honest with you, I don't fear of anything, but I used to. So if you would ask me this question like 3-4 years ago, I would answer immediately. Oh, if Meta or Google, they try to come to our industry and do a reservation app and CRM management system, we are all done. Everybody from all these giant companies were all done. So I would answer to your question like if you would ask me like 3 years ago, like immediately, that my fear is like if Meta or Google come to our industry. But now, I got more mature. I had lots of difficulties in the journey. Just like, by the way, I'm not bragging about it. Like that's a founder journey. Every founder is going through difficulties and all that. So
I'm glad you mentioned that, because my kind of follow-up question on that, please. Sorry, I cut you off. Continue with that, but kind of follow-up on that. The darkest moments you have faced, and how did you push through it? So kind of like you're a CEO, you have that moment of fear. How do you push through that? And then give me an example, the darkest moment that you had and you had experience, and how did you push through that darkest moment as a CEO?
Look, one of the how I pushed through that, anytime that I was tired, anytime that I was thinking, I never, to be honest, I don't even want to say that word, I never thought to give up or something, but anytime I was like, do I really want to continue this? I can quit today and just do something else and make money and enjoy life, right? So always my mom was coming to my mind because to me she's the greatest person on the planet and the best mom out there. So she's a really, by the way, she's a gynecologist surgeon, and she came from a really humble family. She born and raised in a village, and she studied on her own. She went to the university, and she became one of the best gynecology surgeons in Iran. And she had some really great operations that and her clients were coming from, like, different countries, from Dubai, from Qatar, to her office in our town in Ahvaz. And those clients, they were like from really rich Arab families that they went to the European doctors or to Canada or US. They couldn't get their problems solved, and they heard about my mom, and they came, and they left healthy. So my mom went through so many things, and despite the difficulties that she has, and all the family issues that they went through, that she went through. So I mean, every time something happens to me that I'm like, oh, this is hard, the moment that my mom comes to my mind, I'm like, get serious, man. This is nothing compare, my issue to compare it to my mom's issue when she was studying, becoming a doctor, and then through her marriage with her children, and you name it. There's so many things. I mean, I can write books about my mom's life, and I'm pretty sure that book will be bestseller. So to be honest, I there is no comparison with my issues compared to my mom's issues. I mean, the problems, difficulties, life, financial, whatever you want to name it. So she's the one that always gave me the courage, and at the end I was like, if this thing will not become successful, how can I look into my mom's eyes? I mean, would she be, and I know she doesn't give a crap whoever I am, if I'm rich, if I'm not, if the list is successful, if not, doesn't matter if I'm a junkie or not. She loves me, to the moon and back. I know about that, and she doesn't even care. It's not like hey, go get a job and get money or something. She supports me, and she doesn't care about it. She just want me, to be happy. That's it. So every time that I was like, difficulties and etc., I was like, my mom was coming to my mind, and out of the sudden I was getting this power inside me, to get up on my knees again and start working again. Because again, comparing to what she went through, I mean, you can't even compare it, like my situation with what my mom went through. So I mean, I'm way more comfortable. I mean, living in this era in 2025, technology and all that. My mom didn't have none of those, right? She used to study with the light of the candle and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I
So
went through my problems. Yeah.
so this kind of take us to that leadership moment. So much emphasizing on the psychological aspect of the CEO running a business. Uh, in the leadership part of it, I'm sure you have made some very hard decisions. Uh, what's the hardest decision you have made that affected your team, and would you do it the same way again?
Yeah. The hardest decision for me is always firing someone. That's really hard. Really. It's really hard. I mean, it's really sad. It's hard. Doesn't matter if the person is an asshole or not. I mean, it's hard because firing is a big loss for the company. So the thing is, it's okay. It's about hiring and firing. Hiring is like guessing. You don't know who you hire. Doesn't matter. I never took reference because I don't believe in it. I never look at their degrees or which school or university they attend. I have my different metrics. But when you hire, you guess if that person is the right person or not. You're 50-50, etc. But when you fire, you know. Now, when you fire someone is a big loss for the company because you spend certain amount of time and energy and resources for headhunting, finding the talent, interviews, etc., etc. And interviews are not easy. You interview like hundreds of people, or maybe 20, 50. It depends what department. Let's say when we were gathering our devs for our tech department, we interviewed over 900 devs on LinkedIn, on Upwork, and so many different channels. So you spend all that time, energy, and at the end something doesn't, something turns out not the way that you were expecting, and you have to fire that person, or maybe they have HR issues and all that. So it's a big loss, and no matter if the person is an asshole or there is any other reason, anytime I fire I really get sad. It's really hard. And in general, the second thing I would say, I don't like to say no. Like, in general, in company, like if somebody asking for something, day off, holidays, tools, I can't recall the time, even if I know it's wrong, I can't recall the time that I have said no. And because I really like to give it to the people, like they want a day off, I don't want to disappoint them. I know, they were talking to their families, to their girlfriends, arranging, hey, you want to go to this vacation? Okay, let me go back to the company, ask if I can get day off. So I really don't want to disappoint that person, but I know I can tell them, no, I'm not gonna give you the day off, so you have to, we have like a crazy week ahead. But yeah,
do you think that's the hardest, or finding an investor for the startup?
Finding investor,
in my opinion, I think these two are very hard. The first one falls under personality and psychological aspect, because for some people firing might be easy. I think, for example, for President Trump, firing is easy, so you fire. He's been doing that for many years. That's his signature move. I think for a sympathetic person, firing can be hard. But I know the struggle majority of startups have, finding an investor, finding funding, for their company. So if you focus on that subject matter, how hard it is to find an investor? And what the strategy? How do you approach it, someone?
Yeah.
To sell your opinion, idea for the investor? Because I interviewed with one of your investors.
Yeah.
And I asked him this direct question about the challenges that he had as a person. I want to use my money to invest in this company. So I want to know your perspective as a CEO. I'm sure you have knocked many doors. I'm sure you had thousands of meetings. I'm sure you have been rejected.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sure you have been laughed at, and now those people, they say, holy shit, man, I should have listened to him,
Yeah.
So what's that, how does it look like? I never been in your shoes to ask someone, hey, this is my product, invest on it.
Yeah. Look, I could say yes or no. Yes and no. It's hard and it's not. From one hand, yeah, it's hard because first thing first, you are going to people or angel investors or maybe VCs, you're asking money. So not everybody, they like to, when somebody approach them to ask them like, hey, give me money. And of course you have lots of rejections. People, they don't believe in you, or maybe they smartly bullying you, and you name it. But from the other hand, when you think about it, there's so much money in the world. And then you as a founder, as a CEO, you might be struggling by raising 100K for your startup, which is a good idea. You have the proof of product, and maybe when you have found your product market fit. But then you hear, you are struggling to raise 100K. But then you hear, someone in US, he raised like $4 million just on the idea stage. They don't even have the product ready. They don't even have the beta. They don't even have a team. It's just the idea stage, and they raised $4 million on it, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's easy and it's not. But of course, the rejections, and but to me, I don't know if it's my personality or not. There are people that when they hear rejections, they get cold, they get down, they want to give up. But me, when I get rejection, it, man, you have no idea. It gives me such a power. It gives me such a courage that I will, if I will work like 10x more just to achieve what I have to achieve, so I can go back to that person and just throw it to his or her face, like to be like, "Ah, fuck you! You see, you didn't believe in me. Now take it." The joy of that moment, it's so much for me that I don't change it with anything else. When someone rejects me and I go back and I'm like, now I have to prove them who they did fuck with, right? So it gives me such a power. I mean, if it wasn't because of the rejections, maybe we wouldn't even be at this stage right now. Maybe we would never even enter US market. So I really want to thank all those people that they rejected me or they didn't believe in my idea or my product, etc., etc. Because if it wasn't because of those, I wouldn't be in here. I'm pretty sure, because I know myself. I have to get rejection. I have to, people, VCs, angel investors, not to believe in my idea. So it gives me the power to work my ass off even more, so I can prove that they were wrong.
Man, that's very good. Kind of like everyone should apply that warrior mentality into their personal life. It's like you know, a teenager or even an adult. You go ask a girl that you get rejected. Are you gonna stay single? And
Yeah, look, by the way, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, because I never got offended.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
It gives me power, because I'm like that. I never, like, if I'm coming to, if asking you money to invest on my startup, or a VC or angel investor or whatever, you gotta say no. I absolutely respect you. I'm not gonna get offended by, like, oh, this asshole
Because
did.
that's his
Hey,
money. He
yeah, exactly. I'm asking you your money, your hard-earned money.
Correct.
You work for that money. You didn't just take that money from a lotteries program or something. You work for that money. You have wife, you have kids, you have so many responsibilities, and here this guy comes, is like, hey, do you want to invest? And you are not even borrowing money, that, hey, if this doesn't work well, I'm gonna give it back to you. You are like, invest. Give me 200k, 500k, 1 million, 100, whatever it is. I'll give you 10% of my company, so that you have no idea what's gonna happen. Stay there, good luck, watch me, maybe I make it, and I'll give you some ROI, maybe not. It's your fault. You should have never trusted me. So I never got offended.
Correct.
I just wanted to clear that. Yeah.
So in this subject of investors, how do you balance investors' expectations, or within the long term, and then also, especially in this subject, when the investor is not aligned with you, investor is saying, "I'm giving you so much money," and then you have to explain the investor, this is what is going to happen in the long term, because majority of people, when they give a money or they put the money in the investment account or something, they want a return right away. So how do you going to align their expectation with yourself and the products and the long and short term plan of your company that you have?
Look, the thing is that finding and selecting an investor, it's like you're getting married to someone. It's not like finding a girlfriend or finding a wife or something. I have seen so many companies, great companies with great entrepreneurs, that unfortunately they went run out of the business just because of that VC or that investor. It's not about the money, and I mean, look, first thing first, yes, don't get me wrong. From an investor, the first thing you want the money. Then is the, being aligned with you and all that. And especially when you are in a moment that you have not, that you're hungry for the past a few days, you are all alone, you are lonely, you are crushed from in and out. You just wish to not wake up. I mean, I have had, man, I had, and I'm sure so many other entrepreneurs. There are days, there are nights that when you go to bed, you wish not to wake up in the morning because you feel humiliated, you feel like down, you feel like I lost, you feel like I'm a loser, you feel like how can I look into my family's eyes, or they're gonna start nagging, or my friends, or the moment I go out, people they're gonna be like, oh, see, you see, he tried or not, it's not that easy, see, he wanted to be like, oh my god, if it was like that everybody would do it, etc., etc. So in that moment, somebody come giving you money, you don't care if it's like, oh, if they're aligned with your mindset, or if they have connections to actually help you to grow your business, or is it just the money man or not. But in my case, I had opportunities. I was in those places when I was alone, sleeping at my office, having no laundry, no kitchen, stuff like that, no food. My friends were sending food to my house. So I mean, to my, when I say house, I mean office, right? So to my home office, let's say, is like a small 50 square meter. So my friend used to send me food, and I'm blessed to have friends like, like those guys. And I owe them. I owe them a lot, and I'll work my ass off. I'm not just saying oh as a perspective of money. Is they took care of me like my mom. Like it's the feeling, the love. I have to give them back the love. So in those moments when I was absolutely crushed, when I was living like super lonely in the world, when I wished not to wake up, etc., etc., I had angel investors that they wanted to, invest like 300,000, 500 on my company. I didn't take their money. It was really hard. It was really, really hard. And they were like some of the, one of them actually, it was like one of the biggest group, hotelier group in Greece. They have like over 60 hotels. They're like, their net worth is like 4 billion. And they wanted like, it was earlier stage, they wanted to invest like 350,000 euros for 10% equity in my company. It was one of the best offers I had at that time. And I had, of course, from some other rich families in Greece too. But I didn't get their money because they didn't talk about business at all. They were just some rich kids coming from rich families, not having any idea about business, didn't do anything on their own. I could easily take their money. But what I understood, they are not investing on the list to grow the list. They just like the hype and, going to the clubs and the parties and, being in touch with the DJs or going out to the different restaurants, just showing off with the list name and stuff like that. So I was like, that's not the right person for the list. I rather continue what I'm doing with hunger and wait to find the right in, because I was pretty sure I'm gonna find the investor. I was like 100. I mean, the same way as the founders that we guys, we are like praying and hoping and into the war to get the best investors and the money. When you sit from the other side, from the investor point of view, those guys are also into the war to get the best company because it's their job. They are investors, right? They just drop money and they're like, maybe Uncle Warner policy, like, hey, invest on 10 startups, 8 gonna lose, but the 2 that they're gonna rise, they're gonna give you a really great ROI. So I was sure I'm gonna find the investor. And I was like, the investor that I'm going to find, I don't want him just to be the money man. I want him to help me with expansions, with growth, and with any kind of resources that he can put on the table. And now that I'm looking back, I'm really happy that I took that decision because, who knew, maybe if I would have got the money from those guys that they just wanted to party. They were just from rich families and they just wanted to party with the name of the list. Maybe those guys would be also the reason for the list not to thrive. So again, it's a really tough decision because look, I tell you one thing. If you just had your meal and you're laying down on your couch, AC is on, everything is perfect, and your mom just come tell you, hey my son, here's half of the sandwich, please eat it, leave me alone. Why? Because you're full. But if you're hungry for the past 2 nights, working your ass off and just coming home, bro, you will bite the door, I don't know, the couch, whatever, you will eat everything. So my point is that it's really tough to say no to money when you're basically zero, your bank accounts are zero, and you're going through so many like psychological issues, financial issues, and all that. Rather than when you have lots of money in your bank, of course it's easier to play with the investors and telling them no and raise the valuation and stuff like that.
Right now in your extra time, you're doing podcasts as well, right?
Yeah.
What platforms are your podcasts available
on? Look, the thing is that I wanted to do my pod from day one that I started the list, and I wanted to document everything, just post it on YouTube, but I'm really sad I didn't do it. I just didn't have the time, because imagine being one-man show, building the list in the hospitality industry. By the way, hospitality industry, it's not that educated yet, okay? Despite the love that I have for the industry and I have entered the industry, it's not like, let me give you an example. It's not like tech industry. Let's say we are using for task management for our devs, we are using Jira, just like many other companies, right? Or for communication we use Slack, or we use Asana for the support tasks. So the moment that something goes wrong, I mean, there is a bug maybe in Jira, or Slack call is not working, you name it, it doesn't hurt us. Okay, we understand, we get it, we open a ticket, we help them to even debug it and all that. But when it comes down to the hospitality industry, the restaurant managers, the reservations team, the nightclubs, the beach bars, they don't give a crap about your product. They don't understand. They just want the things to work perfectly. No lagging, no bugs, no errors. They don't want to see anything like that. So, and they really don't understand. I mean, and of course it's a really like crazy business, like running restaurants, nightclubs, beach bars, all that is really tough business. Is on the go business, people sitting, coming, going, leaving, paying, and all that. And by the way, I have seen so many people that they are like, they see all these beautiful restaurants in the market and they are making lots of money and they are profitable and they are creating good revenue. And the normal people that they go to dine there, they're all jealous. Oh, I should make a restaurant too. Oh, I should do that too. Oh, I should this too. And the moment that they start, putting their safety into opening up a business, you see after a really short amount of time they run out of the business and they shut down that restaurant and lose their money and all that, because people they see on the front end, they don't see in the back end what's going on, how hard it is to run a business, to build a restaurant, a brand, food, all that, chef. You don't know what things you're dealing with, your supplier, etc. Just what's gonna happen if one day your chef is not showing up in your restaurant, how you gonna serve all those guests. So it's, I mean, with regard that with regards of your question, people, they always see the front end, they never see the back end. So you might see there are companies that they've been working for the past 20 years. Oh, OpenAI, right? ChatGPT.
Another example,
These guys, they were working for years. For what? For how many years? 15, 20 years? These
one
guys
other,
were working in my
one
state?
other example that I like, Nvidia.
NVIDIA.
Yeah, the Nvidia. That
Yeah.
example is amazing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
NVIDIA, these guys were around since we were little kid,
yeah.
right? They were working on their things. And now, suddenly the people, they are like, oh, overnight success. Oh, yeah, Sam Altman, how did you do it? Overnight success. Yo, I know Sam Altman from the time that he was in Y Combinator, and he was, nobody knew him. I was, following up Y Combinator, watching their presentations, and attending their online summits and all that. And now suddenly they call the guy, oh, he did the overnight success, or ChatGPT. No, my friend, ChatGPT, they were working on it for the OpenAI. They were working on it for the past years, like, if I'm not mistaken, 15 years, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I mean, in general, like, running a business is really hard, and it's not for everybody. Not everybody want to be a soccer player. Not everybody want to be a football player, a basketball player. Some people, they enjoy to buy the ticket, go to the stadium and watch the game while having their beer and their popcorn. And not everybody should be a founder. Not everybody should build a business. It's not for everybody. I don't suggest it to people. Like, don't get fooled by the tech influencers on social media that you're just swiping surfing on Instagram, and you just see some of the biggest influencers in the market. Yeah, quit your job, build this, don't do 9 to 5, etc., etc. I'm not telling you what to do. Regarding what you asked about my podcast, I'm not in my podcast. So as I said, I wanted to do this documentation from day one, just post everything online, but I really didn't have time. Being one-man show is really hard. And now, even though I don't have time, but I was like, guys, God, I gotta do it. So a few years have passed, and I'm just recording with my laptop wherever I am, and no edit, no like light or crazy microphone or something. And I really try to transfer my humble experience with those people that they want to join the industry or do something else. Whatever I have learned, maybe for so many people it sounds as stupid, but maybe some people, they hear to my pod and they find something, valuable, and that they can implement into their life or to their business. Now, nevertheless, in my pod or in general in life, I never say to somebody what to do. And I will tell you, never hear someone who's telling you what to do. What I'm saying, I'm just transferring my experience to you. Anything other than that is your decision. I always say to the people, imagine just take some time when you are alone, think, put your mind together. Maybe you want to take a decision, right? Maybe you want to buy a new house. Maybe you want to buy a new car. Maybe you want to go, I don't know, maybe you want to break up with your girlfriend because you like another person. So you talk to me, I give you my opinion. You go talk to your other friend, he gives you your opinion. Your mom, she gives you her opinion and all that. At the end, take some time off. When you're in the bed, sleep alone, or maybe for some people is walking on the beach or whatever. Try to create a court, a personal court in your brain. That's what I'm doing. So I'm the judge. So that is kind of like a minion court, that everybody are minion, right? So when I'm doing that for me, I'm the judge, I'm the lawyer, I'm the victim, I'm the inspectors, I'm everything. So and then I'm like based on.
You mean minions or Armenians?
No, minions. Minions.
Yeah. I just want to clarify, tomorrow Armenians don't file lawsuit again.
No.
No, I know. It's just the language
No,
barrier.
the little yellow thing.
The minions.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
So that's how I always take my decisions. I'm like, I want to do this. My friend told me not to do it. My lawyer told me to do it. My accountant, my team, my employee, my partner. And at the end, I come up with my own assumptions and I take my decision. Why? Because I want to be in charge. And in case something goes wrong, I'm not blaming anybody. I blame myself. I did it, I fucked it up, okay, I blame myself. Rather than, oh, I did it because of you. You made me to do it. Poor people in mind, weak people, you see, they always blame other people. They never take responsibility for their actions, for their decisions, rather than just blame other people. Okay, what you gonna earn by blaming other people? Seriously, think about it. What you gonna earn? Are you going back to the time and not to do that mistake? No, you just destroy yourself. Now, in my part, I never say to somebody what to do. I'm not telling you, hey, that's the right way for hiring process, or that's the right way when you wanna build a company or a tech or finance or. No, I'm like, this is how I did it, and then it worked out for me or not, or that was the mistake. So I give you, now you can listen to so many other pod. It's beautiful. We are living 2025. We got the University of YouTube for free. We got all these amazing mentors that give us their knowledge for free, and then go investigate on your own. Invest some time. You heard to Ali Kavousi, you heard to Reza, you heard to Alex Hormozy, you heard Gary Vee, you heard Leila Hormozy, you heard whatever guys you are following, Neil Patel, Eric Su. Alright, good. Now you can come up with your decision what you want to do. So at the end, you're not going to blame anybody.
Perfect, man. I really appreciate your insights as far as that psychological aspect of running a business and leadership and the hardship that anyone can face, especially using your own examples. I know you're gonna be here longer and working on your projects in Miami and perhaps visiting New York and other places. I would like to invite you to podcast again and talk about other aspects of the business, such as cash flow, the more in depth as far as getting away from that leadership and psychological aspect of the business and get to the part of the finance and how running a business and putting a team together.
Sure.
I will. How can the audience can find you on the Spotify and the YouTube?
Yep. On Spotify, you can just search for Ali Kavousi. The name of my show is The Ali Kavousi Experience. And YouTube, it's the name of my channel is Day One Founders, Solo Founders. And then on my social media on Instagram, the same Al_Kavousi, my LinkedIn Ali Kavousi, my X Twitter, and the other channels. Yeah, basically it's Ali Kavousi. They can search.
The most important thing, the List app. So the List reservation app is right now active in Apple Store and Google. Correct?
Yep.
Google Play,
correct. Yeah, they can just search the List, and on the App Store, Play Store, they can just go to our website, thelist-app.com, and click on the App Store, Play Store badges and download the app and enjoy it.
And also, I recommend everyone here, if you are this summer visiting beautiful country of Greece and experiencing all the Greek islands, I highly recommend you download the List, do your booking.
Oh, that's something I highly recommend. I mean, you've been in Greece so many times.
Every summer,
right?
The past 13 years.
Yeah, I know you love it there.
I love it there.
So,
right.
Look, let me tell you something. I always say that to everybody. Greece is a really beautiful country. It's really fun, but you need to have local friends. Now, let me define that. Let's say someone for the first time going to Miami, going to LA, right? Like they have no friends there, no local, nothing. Like they don't even have smartphone. They're still using those old, Nokia phones that they believe no one can track them or something like that. They just walk in the city, right? They're gonna love it. They're gonna enjoy. They walk in the Hollywood. Oh wow, look at the stars here. Oh, the Hollywood sign. Oh, Six Flags, name it, or Brickell, South Beach. Oh my God, here they used to make the Scarface movie, and so on. Greece is really tricky. So I usually that's actually how all the idea of the list came up, because I usually really feel bad for the travelers coming to Greece. Okay. They come to Athens, for a couple of days only, maybe one night. They get a hotel around Acropolis. They see Acropolis. They take a few pictures. They go to the islands. 2 nights in Mykonos, 1 night in Santorini, 1 night in Paros. They go back and they're like, we saw Greece. Next summer, we're going to Italy. No, my friend, you didn't see anything about Greece. There are so many hidden gems. Okay, like in Athens, that's why I said you need to have a local, because you need to know where to go. You see, every country they have their own uh, way of operating. So in Athens, you need to know where to go for brunch, where to go for cocktail, where to go for if you want to have a best Greek seafood, and there are specific days. Now maybe it's Tuesday night, and you ask me, hey, I'm in Athens, where shall I go? I'm gonna tell you, oh, you want to party? Go to that place. If it's Wednesday night, I'm not gonna tell you go to that place. I'm gonna name another nightclub, because it's really important which day, which place you are visiting, to have the the best vibe, best crowd, enjoy, right? Or you don't want to go to a nice seafood tavern by the sea, beautiful sunset, all that, when it's absolutely empty and it's dead season. You want to go there when there are nice crowd, live music, people are dancing on the tables, sunset, etc. So that's the whole philosophy of the list, and that's why we built the list, because I didn't make the list for me. Now there's so many founders. If you listen to the founders' journeys and the stories, they are like, hey, I had this problem at home, or my wife had this issue, or my children, or me and my family. That's why I came up with this idea, and boom, now it's a unicorn and all that. I didn't do the list for me. Especially in Greece, I'm really well connected. Most of my friends are like restaurant owners, club owners, managers, DJs, PRs, mets, bartenders, hosts. So I saw the travelers, the pains they are going through. They have certain issues. They don't know about budgeting. They don't know which places to visit, and they cannot budget their travel. The only thing they do, let's say someone wants to go from America to Greece this summer. Alright, what do they do first? They look at the air tickets. Boom, they got their air tickets. Next, they need a hotel or Airbnb. They go to booking.com or Airbnb. They get their accommodation. But that's it. Alright, I got my airline ticket. I'm going to Athens. I got a 1 night hotel in Athens. I got my boat ticket. I'm going to Mykonos. I got my villa in Mykonos too. Now basically I don't know how much money I need to spend in Mykonos to have fun. I'm there 5 days, maybe with kids, maybe with friends. We want to party, we want to drink, we want to eat, or maybe we don't want to party. I'm with kids, I want to go to some chill places. So finding the right places is one issue, and then the other part is budgeting. Now with the list, the good thing is that someone visiting Greece this summer, they can budget their whole trip. They can see compare different venues, compare their minimum spend, compare their menus, compare their prices. And maybe someone wants to go to that beach club in Mykonos, but how about if they hear 2 sunbed is gonna cost you 500 euros, which is around like 550 bucks. But by the way, now I think euro and dollar, they are more or less the same. So let's say it's 500 bucks just for 2 sunbeds with one umbrella. So most probably you're gonna get a bottle of water, you're gonna get some snacks to eat. So, and I'm not even talking about you wanna get a wine or cocktail and stuff like that. I'm going healthy. Bottle of water, maybe a cup sandwich or something, and some snacks. And your bill is up to 700-800 bucks. Maybe you don't want to spend that much money for a simple swim, right? So like that, you're gonna see, hey, I don't want to pay like 700-800 bucks just to go for a swim. But in that matter, they go to the list, they see different places, they can compare. Hey, instead of that, I can get the cabana in the other part of the island in this beautiful beach club for 200, and they give me also a complimentary fruit salad and drinks and stuff like that. So they can really budget their. That's what also I see our users, they like. they can budget their whole vacation. All right, I got my hotel, I got my airline ticket, I got my boat, I got my rent a car. Now I booked my restaurants, nightclubs, beach bars, sunbeds, everything on the list, and I know the prices in advance, and I have prepaid. So now I'm peace of mind. I'm not worried if my credit card is not gonna work or if it get rejected. Or how about if I go somewhere? How about if they go somewhere for a lunch or for a dinner, and and the prices are so crazy that they have to order two small appetizers and then go to McDonald's or something like that, right? So the list, besides like giving you the feeling like a local, and to finding all these hidden gems, and enjoy your vacation, one of the other benefits is that it's really help you to budget your day and night out as a local or as a traveler.
Perfect, man. Thank
Yeah.
you very much for detailed explanation.
Oh, by the way, there's so many details about the list that if I start talking about it, I'm not gonna end, and we'll be here
Definitely.
for the next
No,
3-4
no,
hours.
no, we're gonna do it in the next
And
podcast.
I never stop.
No,
No, that's
definitely.
me. When I'm talking about the list, my friends are like, "Oh, please shut up," just
No,
just shut up.
that's what you want to know. If you want to know about the project, you want to know from the founder
Yeah.
what exactly going on. When I was in the army, when you wanted to go on a mission, you want to hear that from the mission commander. You do not want to hear that from someone that doesn't know anything about mission brief. So exactly.
By the way, let me add. You brought up the army.
Yeah.
Let me add something in here. When you joined the army, you knew where you're going, right? You knew you were going to the war.
It was at the time of war. Yeah.
Yeah, you knew you were going. Oh, by the way, you joined the army. It was like the what is it? It was the Afghanistan
Yeah,
war. I mean,
it was
you
shortly.
didn't join the army in the peace
No,
time.
it was shortly after 9/11.
Exactly.
I exactly know what I'm getting into, and that was the reason I joined it.
Exactly.
I joined the army to serve for United
That's
States.
that's what I respect, and that's what I want from other people, to know what they're walking into. You joined the army after 9/11. It was it was the war, the US and Afghanistan, and I think also Iraq was before that or after, something like that. Yeah. So you know what you are walking into. You didn't join the army just with the assumptions that, yeah, I'm gonna join the army, get the benefits and go to Universal Studio, or they're gonna send me to the embassy of US in Paris, and I'm going to enjoy my life there. You know what you are walking into. So rather than so many people, they start business and they have no idea what they are walking into. They have no idea. They think just, oh, I'm gonna, if yeah, of course, if he did it, you can do it. Of course, if he made it, you can. Of course, if Jeff did it, you can. If Elon did it, you can do it. If Mark did it, you can do it. Of course, I'm not against that. That's one of the main thing I'm talking about my podcast. I'm showing you the both sides, okay? And then you have to choose. All I'm trying to do is to open your eyes to what you are walking into, because people, they don't know what they are walking into. They just see, if he did it, I can do it. They listen to some mentors online. Quit your job 9 to 5. If Spotify did it, you can do it. If Jeff Bezos did it, you can do it, right? And then they destroy those families, those mentors online that they are encouraging people to quit their job. There should be some kind of regulation or something on them, because they are destroying families. They are causing breakups, divorce, sadness, loneliness, suicide, stuff like that. That's what I'm trying to say to the people. Yes, building something, it's amazing. Go for it. But if you are the man for it, if you can do it. Otherwise, maybe you do not want to go to the war. Maybe you do not want to wake up every day and cry. Maybe you do not want to sleep every night with hunger. Maybe you do not want to lose your girlfriend. Maybe you do not want to lose your friends. Maybe you want to spend time with your pet, with your family, with your kids. Watch Netflix, movie, enjoy the basic, things of life. Because life is short. We born here, we die here. People, they don't realize that. Now, maybe I'm here in the middle. Maybe someone else is here and they have like 10 more years to go. So, if you would show the reality of how hard it is to build a company to someone, most of the people, they wouldn't even enter it day one. Trust me. Most of the people, they wouldn't even but the problem is they don't know it. They got fooled by the influencers online. They enter, and at the end they end up killing themselves, suicide, break up, losing their friends, wishing that they would never do it, losing their wives, their kids, you name it, having psychological issues, they don't want to see anybody, etc., etc., etc. Don't get fooled by those influencers online. Maybe starting a company is not for you. Maybe you are better at your 9 to 5 job. Maybe you are happy. Maybe you have a good salary. Maybe you are enjoying. Maybe that's good. And you have time to spend with your family, and your weekends you're not gonna work 15 hours. You're gonna take care of yourself, water your flowers, go out doing shopping, eat something. You come back home at 5 6 p.m. You chill. You're not gonna, because when you're an entrepreneur, you have no break, you have no stop, you have no pause. It's always through war. It's always constantly when you're at war, right? So you're in Afghanistan, so you had your camp and all that, right? So you guys waking up in the morning. Now I don't know how you guys were doing it, but let's say waking up in the morning, going to your teams, your leaders, checking your guns, bullets, whatever, going to the Humvees and drive, going to the war, coming back. You were not shooting each other in your camp. Now you came back to your safety, right? You did the war, you came back. Now okay, talking, maybe drinking, maybe crying, maybe whatever, taking shower, going to the bed for the day after. Entrepreneurship is not like that. Entrepreneurship is going to the war, coming back to the war. Doesn't matter. You are going to your office, you are going to the war, you are going back home, you are coming back to the war. You never have rest. It's good for the employees. I've always told that to my employees. I'm like, every time I'm going to the office, I see them, I'm like, I'm jealous to you guys. Like, yeah, I swear to God. I'm like, look at you guys here, AC on, enjoying with your laptops, having your musics, listening, getting your salary. After 5, nobody even bothers you. Weekend, you have your day offs. Perfect. Me as a founder CEO, I'm getting fucked in here. I have no time to sleep. I have no time to breathe. I have no time to attend a friend's birthday or something. My friends, they got married. I didn't have time. I didn't have the money to buy the ticket to attend their wedding, because one of them got married. Oh, by the way, Carlos, the guy that I talked about when we were at the college in Budapest, he got married in Valencia, so I couldn't even attend to his wedding. No time to even spend time on an online call, a WhatsApp call or something with my brother or with my mom or with my nephews. No time to grab an ice cream with no time to having a girlfriend. No time for this, no time for that. Non-stop. And to be honest, being CEO is the shittiest role on the planet, because you are the filter of all kind of craps that happening in the company. Every bad thing comes to you as a CEO. Can you imagine what kind of hard personality you should have to not break? Because when things goes wrong in the company, they will come to you for help, for solution. When things are good, nobody will come to you. Your employees will not come to you. They will get the credit for themselves. You were working on something, now you send them to close the deal. Oh, you don't even understand. You see the restaurant is live on the app. Oh, somebody took the credit. Someone did that. But when things goes wrong, when there is a problem in a partnership with a third party, there is a lawsuit or something, they come to you. So as a CEO, you are the last person that everybody just shit on him. Everybody just come to your office. The moment somebody comes to your office, they know they want to take a crap on you. That's the CEO job. It's not like, he's the CEO. That's why I'm like, oh God, I can't imagine what guys like Elon, Mark, Jeff, what these guys are going through. Don't look at them with these crazy ass yachts and stuff like that. These guys that are getting fucked 24/7, 11 and a half months during the year. Now you guys see them, oh, he's getting married in Venice and he booked whole Venice and the boats and the taxi. Bro, this guy, he's getting destroyed, screwed every second by the government, by his own team, enemies inside, enemies outside, you name it. There are people in his own team, in his own company, that they want to bring him down to take his place. You have no idea. We are not even close to that, right? And then people are like, oh, look at his yacht, and there's another yacht just to carry his personal belongings, right? So being a CEO is a really bad job, because you just have to deal with issues, problems, stress. And being a founder is even worse, because you have no time. I mean, your time doesn't belong to you. You're just, every time your employees need you, you have to be available to them. Every time you need them, they are not available because it's 9 p.m. You cannot bother them, or it's weekend, you cannot bother them, or they're on vacation, you cannot bother them. But if it's 3 a.m., they text you, you have to reply immediately. So it's basically like being a single parent, that you have to do everything. You have to play the mom role, the dad role, cook, clean, whatever, take the children to school. And when the children, imagine your kid is like 5, 6, 7 years old, when they want something, they don't even get it. Like, I want that game, or I want the new PlayStation, and I don't care. My dad has money, doesn't have. I don't get it. Like, I don't know. Go sell your car or something and get me the new PlayStation. That's kind of like being the founder. So that's why, again, I'm saying it's not for so many people. I'm not telling you to start something on your own. Absolutely do it. But before that, you need to know what you are walking into. If you don't know what you are walking into, don't do it.
Thanks very much for sharing your thoughts.
I appreciate it.
All right, talk to you in the next podcast.
Sure.
All right, have a wonderful day.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.